Hey, for the Wall Street Journal, this is Jim Fusilli, and I'm here with Kevin Barnes of the band of Montreal. Kevin, good to see you.
Thank you. Good to see you.
You have a brand new album, Paralytic Stalks. It's impossible to pigeonhole you guys. Is that a good thing, or?
Well, I mean, it's just a thing. Definitely, for me, I'm trying to experiment a lot and, go off in different territories with each record and not follow any sort of formula. Just trying to make something that feels fresh and exciting at the time.
Do you write for projects? Do you write for albums, or do you write all the time?
Well, I tend to focus on projects, definitely. I mean, I'm writing, it's all just, developing and then actually putting the thing together and then releasing the thing and then touring for it. And then while I'm touring for a record, then I'll start thinking about ideas for the next record.
And when you're writing, are you writing from the space you're living in at the time, or are you thinking about past moments or historical figures or mass media, or are you writing about your life?
For the most part, it's about my life, but there's definitely been some albums that I wrote maybe from a persona, or just sort of like creating characters and writing about them in a sort of fictional sort of sense,
Sure.
But yeah, as of late, I've definitely focused more on my personal life.
May we always stay gentle.
When you go out on tour and you've got this big body of work and they come from different periods in your life, how do you make them work together?
Well, initially, incorporating the Paralytic Stalks songs into the older material was a bit awkward. The first time we did it, I had a strange feeling when I was going back and forth between the new material and the older stuff, which hadn't really experienced before. But as we've been playing these songs more and more, somehow it feels more natural. It doesn't feel as awkward.
It becomes part of a whole.
Yeah.
You also have a pretty loyal fan base, and I would assume that once they absorb the material and take it as part of your overall project, what's coming back at you on the stage makes it all feel as part of one.
Yeah, and I think also it's all integrated into the visual production as well, so there's a continuity there, even if the spirit behind the writing process might have been slightly different from song to song. But when we're presenting it, it's being presented as part of this bigger picture.
So how are you going to spend your summer?
Hopefully writing a new record.
Huh? You got a tour lined up?
We have some dates, some summer festival stuff happening, but pretty much it's pretty free.
Yeah. How do you like playing festivals?
It's fun just because there's a ton of people there and everyone's in a good mood usually, and you get to see a lot of bands that you wouldn't normally get to see, and maybe even meet some people that you'd like to meet and stuff, things like that. But and then there's also the other side of it, the performance. You don't get a sound check, and you're using rented gear a lot of times, and the monitoring situation is usually sketchy. So it's kind of a tricky thing because, you're presenting something that you care about, but you're not really controlling it as much as you normally would be able to. So it can be kind of frustrating in that way. You're just like, oh God, my voice sounded like crap because I couldn't hear myself or whatever. Yeah. Broke a string, but I couldn't do anything about it, things like that. But
I would bet you pick up a sizable number of fans when you play a festival.
I think so. I mean, sometimes you feel like a lot of people are there and they're just in a good mood, and if you present something that's colorful and upbeat, positive feeling, then they'll get into it. But I think, our music is fairly esoteric, so it definitely appeals to people on a certain level sometimes, but for people to really get into it, they have to have a certain kind of brain, I think.
Yeah.
Have to be a sort of misfit human.
And then once they're in, they've got this big body of work to go with.
Yeah.